Hey guys, KAYVEE here from GoodGuides, bringing you everything you need to know to start getting more consistent at Fortnite Battle Royale. This video is aimed at people who have a decent amount of games under their belt and have made it far a couple of times, but are looking for more consistency getting deep into games and getting closer to that win. Now I know other videos have mentioned this, so I just want to go over this quickly. The topic of where to aim when dropping. The only thing that decides when you open your glider as you drop is the distance between your character and the closest thing beneath you. You will always open your glider a set distance above the highest surface you're over, so if you drop over a hill, you'll get to your destination slower than someone else who dropped over a ravine, as they'll open their glider much later than you. After you finish looting and killing everyone that's a threat, there's a moment in the game where you're probably unsure of what to do next. Most people travel elsewhere to find loot, however this doesn't really set you up to win the game. A couple things to think about when running outside of your initial drop area include the following. How far is the next circle and how long do I have until I need to be there? What parts of my inventory am I missing? And where are people most likely to be? Once you've answered all of these, you can start to formulate a game plan. For instance, imagine you're inside the circle, you've just heard a drop landing somewhat near you, you're missing a key weapon, and people are also likely to head towards the drop. A possible game plan would be setting up near the drop and fragging everyone who attempts to take it. You not only get more chances at finding the weapon you're looking for, but you also have the potential to obtain every tool you need to pull out the win. So the most important part of Fortnite is staying alive. In order to achieve that, you need to be winning your gunfights, and in order to win your gunfights, you need guns that you can win with. Now, as I've stated in the beginner's guide, the higher the grade of the weapon, the more damage it does. But picking up 5 orange sniper rifles isn't going to help you that much if someone rushes you with a shotgun. Having a balanced inventory is essential to your success, but it doesn't end there. Perhaps you have trouble landing sniper shots, but you tend to win nearly all of your close-range fights. In that case, maybe you'd be better off having grenades or a rocket launcher and storming bases and forcing fights at a close range. Throughout each of your games, make note of the fights that seem easiest to you and try to fit your inventory around that. Once you have your inventory ready for the fights you want to take, it's time to think about what fights are good ones to engage in and what fights are better to leave. In this clip, I see someone in the distance crouching around. I take a shot, miss, and he now realizes he's in danger. In this instance, I should have instead closed the gap until I either had an easier shot or until the situation changed. By forcing him to realize he's in danger, I'm no longer able to get an easy shot off as he finds cover. In this clip, I notice the only other person left alive is behind a tree watching me. Instead of holding the angle or trying to get a shot off initially, I look to the side while moving to try to entice him to peek, as it seems to him like I haven't noticed where he is yet. As soon as I see him peek with what he thinks is a safe angle, I easily finish him off and grab the win. What I'm trying to get across here is the practice of thinking before you act. If you're too hasty, you might make an easy kill much more difficult. Slowing down and thinking about taking an engagement you have an advantage in will only further increase that advantage. If you find yourself in an open fight, however, there's a couple things you can do to gain an edge on your enemy. The most important thing is to always be moving. As soon as you stop moving in the open, you become the easiest target on the planet. Keep in mind, this is a good idea to employ throughout the entirety of the game, not just in firefights. Something else that can help you essentially dodge bullets is to change your verticality while fighting. So mixing in random crouches or using the tires to send yourself flying can really mess up your opponent's aim. In terms of taking medium to long range battles, with specifically the rifles, something that comes in handy is stutter stepping. Stutter stepping is when you strafe to a side, stop your movement, and take one shot or burst, then strafe to a side again and repeat. This lets you constantly output more accurate shots while still moving enough to be a difficult shot for your opponent. It's also very easy to employ when peeking around a wall, which will only increase your survivability. One last thing that will help that is specific to Fortnite is to build walls and ramps to fight around. This seems obvious at first, but you'll come to realize there are many fights that you will engage in that you end up losing because you forgot to build. An easy mantra to go by when getting engaged upon is to build first and ask questions later. Lastly, I want to go over a couple things that are specific to groups. Something that is incredibly important in terms of getting a win, but also in terms of just having fun, is to keep as many members of your team alive as long as possible. So that means being able to trade frag effectively, and realizing when it's more important to fall back and group up rather than chase kills. A couple rules that are good starting points to go by are: waiting for your teammates to be in position before you engage on unsuspecting enemies, dropping and looting with either a buddy or the entire team together so that if someone goes down early, there's another person to trade the frag and then revive them, and realizing that helping teammates is more important than looting when you already have a weapon. On top of these rules, in general, having clear communication, such as letting your team know where you got shot from, as well as discussing situations before they happen, such as how you're going to approach an enemy base at the top of a hill, will help you and your team when faced with something difficult. Hopefully, some of you gain more consistency in your play, and can start to think about how you're going to make it to the end game time and time again. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We do read everything. If you've enjoyed this, leave a like. If you'd like to see upcoming content, subscribe. And also, let us know what kind of guides you want to see in the future. This has been KAYVEE, GG.